I'm a big fan of the martial arts genre, especially in mangas and webtoons. And a common term that I've seen thrown around, especially in the fantasy genre, is the heavenly body, the martial body, or the heavenly martial body, and other variations. This body is essentially a perfect one meant for martial arts. To a certain degree, this exists in real life, as many top-level martial artists have been blessed with genetic gifts. While it's improbable to change one's genetics to that specific manner, it is possible to build a foundation to start or improve a martial art. I've divided it into 3 sections, all of which blend together. Before I begin, simply doing the training specific to the martial art, for example MMA, you will improve your ability in each of the sections. However, you may soon hit a wall in your progress and even have muscular imbalances in certain areas. First is physical, focusing on improving physical attributes. The first portion is strength. Weightlifting is one of the fastest ways to improve this, specifically compound exercises such as bench press, squat, deadlift, and standing overhead press. All of this will require a barbell and a cage with safety arms to properly perform the exercises. The weight should be 75 to 80% of your 1 rep max, and a simple way to gauge this is based on how you feel performing the exercises. 5 reps is too easy, meaning it's too light, and if you can't finish the 5th rep, it's too heavy. It's important to have ample rest between sets, and this is dependent on how much you need to recover. The range is usually about 3 to 5 minutes, but you can go higher to 10 minutes or more dependent on your body. As for sets and reps, 3 sets of 5 reps for each exercise is a good amount. Second is explosiveness, which is to improve high power output with quick acceleration, beneficial in many sports including fighting sports. It improves naturally through sport-specific training, but you can supplement it with other general exercises. Without weights, burpees are a good exercise, but by including free weights such as dumbbells or kettlebells, you can perform swings, cleans, and snatches. If you want to add more weight, Olympic lifting is a great option as well, though it requires specific equipment and it has a more complex technique than general weightlifting. Third is cardio, which can be improved by training for the actual martial art. I would recommend starting with 1 to 2 minute rounds of sparring, rolling, bag work, pad work, or shadow boxing with 1 minute rest in between. Start with 2 to 3 rounds and slowly progress the rounds as you continue to adapt. Once you can perform 10 rounds comfortably, you can increase the time from 2 minutes to 3 minutes to 5 minutes to 8 and so on. The Boss Rutan audio tapes on YouTube are a great way to start this. Now you want to make sure that you stop once your technique begins to break down due to fatigue, and you can pick it up the next time you work out, as you don't want to establish bad habits in your form. Alternatively, you can also include swimming, rucking, heavy hands, farmers walking, and running. And in general, you want to work on bodyweight movements like pull-ups, flexibility, and mobility, and you also want to work on kinesthetic awareness. The second section is technique, with the first portion of this being to choose a specific martial art as your base. I talk about this more in What Martial Arts Would Batman Use, but in simple terms, you would want a striking and a grappling martial art. Once you've chosen a martial art as your base, you want to make sure you practice this religiously along with your general training. And just as important is to make sure that you're properly performing the technique. And a great way is to use film to check yourself during training, then reviewing the video and begin to correct minor or major issues you may see. The next step is to incorporate in specific techniques from other styles that you don't particularly use. There are real-world examples, such as former UFC champion Anderson Silva, Tony Ferguson, John Jones, using Wing Chun into their own style. By mixing in unique styles, it allows you to keep your opponents on their toes. You want to further this by essentially creating your own style, which I believe happens every time someone learns a new martial art. And so you want to do this consciously by removing techniques that don't work for you, such as techniques that require longer arms or longer legs, and add in techniques that do work for you depending on your body type. The third and last section is the mind, which is to improve one's mentality and working on tactics and strategies. In this section, the first portion is to overcome the fear of fighting. Now, there are legitimate reasons to be afraid of a fight, such as muscle contusions, broken bones, concussions, brain bleeding, and in even certain cases, death. However, it's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener at war. It'd be best to understand all the dangers of fighting and accept that you may get hurt, and to prioritize your safety overall. So if your arm is in a hold, for example, tap immediately to avoid an injury. You can also minimize possible dangers, such as lessening the amount of sparrings per week to maybe once a week or once every 2 weeks, wearing protections like mouth guards when you fight, and continuing to polish your technique, reactions, defenses, and more. You will slowly become comfortable with fighting and begin to be calm in a stressful situation. This can also stop natural reactions that manifest physically, such as shutting one's eyes, hyperventilation, tunnel vision, and more. Once you overcome this barrier, the next level up is to incorporate tactics and strategies. And to begin, you want to watch videos of professional fighters and pick up on what they use to win their fights. Some examples of this include throwing feints, baiting the opponent with a weak spot and then countering, irritating the opponents like Colby Covington does, intentionally causing injuries within the legalities of the rules, of course, like a cut over the eye causing a doctor stoppage, or throwing leg kicks, which aren't knockout material, but a couple of well-placed leg kicks will make it very difficult for the opponent to stand without wincing in pain and slowing them down. Essentially, you want to learn from theory, like videos, The Art of War by Sun Tzu, Strategicon of Maurice, and more, and then put them into action by testing them during spars or even matches. However, understand, no technique will be 100% effective at all times, but you're looking for consistency. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the content and want to see more, make sure to like and subscribe. And drop any ideas that you want to see next.